Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw.
Welcome back to another episode of Breaking Brews. I'm still working on these MTG Foundations commanders because for all you new players, we got a lot to learn, and I'm here to embark on this journey with you. Uh, where do I begin? We have Elenda, Saint of Dusk. She's a pretty cool commander. This is like the second version of her. But this version, I feel like is super straightforward. And the feel of this type of commander is straight commander damage. Your opponents have no answers for it. The only answer that is available is destroy all creatures or exile all creatures at sorcery speed. This creature forces opponents to deck build where sorceries or abilities can remove her from the board. Do you know how finite that is? Most players, pods, groups, LGSs will tell you add a bunch of instant speed removal. Well, she bypasses this. That's what makes her powerful. So I'm about to enlarge the screen and about to read what she does. But first off, she is a 4/4 legendary vampire knight in Orzhov colors, which is black and white plus 2 colorless. Let's go. Okay, so this bad lady right here, she's got lifelink. So that means whenever she does damage, either by attacking or blocking, you're gaining a minimum of 4 life. Hexproof from instances. So all those swords of plowshares, terrors, and anything that's at instant speed cannot target her. That's why I mentioned if a ability on a permanent says tap and destroy target creature, that's the way she will die. Otherwise, the rest of her abilities is pretty long. So let me get into it. As long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, which is 40, Elenda gets +1/+1 and has menace. Means when she attacks, she has to be blocked by 2 creatures minimum. Elenda gets an additional +5/+5 as long as your life total is at least 10 greater than your starting life total. So if you're at 50 life total in a commander game, she will become a 10/10 with lifelink, hexproof from instances, and menace. The reason that's a moment of silence, of disgust, a moment of disgust. Do you know how many keywords that is? That most of the time you're adding cards or spells or permanents to do those things, and all you got to do is gain life. She does that. So if you want to build her as your commander, obviously she wants you to make her focus on equipments or enchantments, auras, to make her bigger, stronger, and badder. But there are some other options as you deck build. Let's get into them. We got Boon Reflection here. 5 mana enchantment. Pretty simple. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life. So your life matters here, right? You gain 5 life, you gain 10 life. If you do that at 40 life, you're already at 50. So if you have Elenda, she's a 10/10 flying, menace, hexproof from instances type of creature. What else can I say? That's tough to beat. That is tough to beat. I got to tell y'all, hexproof from instances is a pain in the ass. There's no other way to say it. Like the way they tell you to put instances in your deck, you're like programmed thinking that's the best option. If you're somebody who's not building this type of deck and you're watching this video, add some variety to your removal package. Sorcery speed is okay because sometimes they're more powerful. If you're building this deck, sorcery speed in white is tricky because it usually says remove attacking creature, remove blocking creature. That's your little, pro tip. So next card we have here is essentially Exquisite Blood. Exquisite Blood is an enchantment, but over here to the right is Bloodthirsty Conqueror. For 5 mana, it is a vampire knight, vampire tribal. 5/5 flying death touch. Jesus Christ. Do y'all know what that is? A 5/5 flying death touch? Anything that it touches, attacking, blocking, dies. It says whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So if an opponent does not block Bloodthirsty Conqueror, you gain 5 life. If an opponent pays 3 life to activate an ability, you gain 3 life. If an opponent, what else? Loses 2 life because somebody played a enchantment or a spell, you gain that much life. You hear what I'm saying here? This card is just like a universal card. It's just symmetric. Anything that opponent loses life some way, somehow, you gain that much life. So essentially, if you add this card to your deck, just know your opponents should exile or remove this from the game. Straight up. Okay, here we go. We got Riot Control. The reason why I like this card, because it's like a fog effect. If you don't know what fog does, fog is a green card for 1 green mana that says prevent all damage this turn. Do you know how many games I've won because a 1 mana green card that says prevent all damage? Let me tell you how important that is. That is an attack phase that is nullified for 1 mana at instant speed and your opponents didn't see it coming. That's how powerful it is. You need to add it to your deck. Riot Control. Let me get back to the card. Riot Control for 3 mana. Instant. You gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control. Remember all those tokens that your opponents have? If they got 10 out there, you gain 10 life. Oh, if you have Elenda out and you get the 50 life, she's a 10/10 minutes flying hexproof for instant type of creature. Crazy. Also, this card says prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn. So essentially, during combat, your opponent swings all out at you. Tap 3 mana, prevent all damage to you. Just take the blocker, take the attackers. However, here's another scenario. Let's say your opponent attacks you and player B. Tap 3 mana, play this at instant speed, all damage prevented to you. Your opponent takes all that damage. Oops, sorry. Hey, moving on, add this card to your deck. I'm not gonna lie, I think I added 7 cards to this. So if you're keeping up, I got 3 more for you. Let's start off with Sangromancer. A 3/3 flying vampire shaman. This is actually kind of an old school card for 4 mana. She says whenever a creature in opponent control dies, you may gain 3 life. Keyword may. Always remember may. Because may is good. May is good. May says you want to at the right times, and May says, I don't want this to happen at this time because some bullshit is going on from your opponent that says whenever a player gains life, you lose that much life. Oh, hence the card I just showed you, Bloodthirsty Conqueror or Exquisite Blood. Anyways, back to Sangromancer. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you may gain 3 life. You know how often players discard cards? Anybody playing red and they play looting effects? Discard a card to draw a card. Discard a card to do something else. Discard your hand. Oh, you get to gain 3 life because Sangromancer is out on the battlefield. What? Each time. So it's good for death triggers and discard matter tactics. Just know this card is good because stuff is happening on each player's turn. Imagine getting payoffs each player's turn. You will win the game because the value increases. Put this card in your deck. Okay. So honestly, right now, if you're watching this video, I'm locked in. You're in for a treat. I'm locked in magic mode right now. No lie. I wish I could do this type of energy on every video. I'm just trying to find my element. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe if you like the energy. Right here, I got Hall of the Bandit Lord. It is a pain land. What is a pain land? A pain land is something where a land that says you pay 3 life. That's painful, right? You pay 3 life to do something, right? Here we go. Actually, I love this card because this is the set I came from. Kamigawa. Legendary land, Hall of the Bandit Lord comes into play tapped. That sucks. It also says tap, pay 3 life. That's not a problem because you got lifelink out here. You're in a Lifegain deck. Add 1 mana to your mana pool. If that mana is spent on a creature spell, that creature has haste. So this is definitely ideal on your commander when you cast her on the 2nd or 3rd time, and she's a 10/10 with menace, lifelink, flying, this, that, and the other, and you swing for combat damage because you see an opening on the battlefield. All she needs is haste. You know how rare haste is in the colors of white and black? It doesn't exist. So what you need to know from this little, 5-card recommendation is while you're building this deck, you should look for lands that do other effects that can elevate your commander. Because I'll tell you from experience, players don't look at your lands that do stuff unless they're traumatized from playing a land earlier. And usually it takes that one bad experience. That player knows that land very well. This is one of those cards. They're not any veteran player, mid-level player is not gonna. It knows white and black doesn't have haste like that. Usually black creatures will have haste more than white creatures. However, this land does it for you, so add it. Okay. Our last card here. It is the Digsite Engineer. I know I got a lot on the screen, but Digsite Engineer is a dwarf artificer. 3/3 body, pretty big. For 3 mana, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 2 mana. If you do, create a 0/0 colors construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Okay, so let's unpack this. If you make Elenda equipment heavy, artifact heavy type of deck, you want this card. That way you can create more creatures, more sack fodder that get bigger on the battlefield. So why would you want to do that with Elenda? Well, granted, if you ever played like a Voltron type of deck, you don't have a wide board state. You just have that. So fortunately, black and white is an aristocratic type of feel. So you sacrifice something to get something. So these are just great cards to create sacrifice fodder for payoffs. To your left up here, I got Constructs highlighted, right? The reason why it's Constructs because Karn, which is the card right here, is a creature, artifact creature from one of the sets back in the day, from Urza's Legacy. I forgot some stuff. He's super cool. He's super legendary. He's an artifact creature, essentially. And all the constructs that you see through mana, aka are constructs. Put it together, people. Anyway, this card is a repeatable token generator, Digsite Engineer. Look for ways to elevate your board state by using sack fodder. That's definitely important in the black color scheme and black and white color scheme for aristocratic type of feel. Like I said, I'm locked in right now. Thank you for watching this video. If you're new to Magic, let me know in the comments of any other new commanders that you want me to make videos on. I love sharing my insight of the game. I've been here for a hot minute. I'm still learning some new stuff too because the rules is deep. The game is deep, but it's addicting. Honestly, Vampire Tribal is very popular. When Magic first started, there wasn't that many vampires that were playable, especially for a commander format. Now they're popping up left and right, so you can actually have a formidable deck that is Vampire Tribal, and these creatures get to do more than suck people's blood. You know what I'm saying? Like they can actually attack and do some other effects. Anyways, I'm done babbling. Thank you for the video. The video on the screen is probably something for another MTG Foundations video. Commander. Go ahead and click on it, watch it. Peace out, y'all. Subscribe.